Hey, what's up, Packer fans? This is Coach Hawn with you on behalf of Packernet.com. In the film room, going to go through this wild matchup that we're going to have the Green Bay Packers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Sunday. Super exciting to watch. But before we get into this, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, if any of you like the green and gold and like what Packernet's doing, you got to go check out Pack Daddy's podcast. It is everything you need for some real insight into the green and gold. It's amazing, so go check that out. Today we're going to be looking at what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can do defensively against Green Bay and how it can give them some troubles. Now, before we get started with any of this, I have to let you know, I'm just a high school coach, okay? I just yell at high school kids. These guys get paid millions and millions of dollars. They're the best and the brightest in the game. I'm certainly not that, okay? But I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I'm really looking forward to watching in Sunday's matchup, and specifically schematically, okay? So don't get me wrong, Tampa Bay's Jimmy and Joe's, their dudes on the field are studs up and down that lineup. You know, their nose, Vita Vea, he ended up, breaking his leg, unfortunately. But aside from that, they are stacked at every position. So they've got really good players. But what really sticks out to me about Tampa's defense is their defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, and how very intelligent he is and how much he really understands offensive line play, because once you understand offensive line play, you can do some things to exploit some of the pros and cons that offensive line play has. So I'm going to take you through a few of those different things, and when it comes to pass protection specifically. Now, Tampa Bay is amazing against the run, okay? And some of the things that they do to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks is phenomenal, and it's because I think Todd Bowles and his staff really understand offensive line play. So when it comes to O-line play, before we get into the film, I just have to explain something really quick. When it comes to O-line play, there's really only 4 protections. There's a million tweaks and different little tags and stuff you can put on it, but there's really only 4 things you can do as an offensive line in pass protection. You can full-on man, which is what Todd Bowles likes to try to get you to do, okay? So man protect all the way across the board. Or you can half slide, where 2 of the offensive linemen are man and the rest are in a zone or a slide protection. You can full slide, and to do that, you have to have a running back or a tight end or an H-back or something in, because the whole line will slide one way, and then the running back or H-back or that auxiliary, that 6th blocker, has to come and pick up the edge where they slid away from. Or you can roll protect, and that's that full boot, or sometimes it's a full run the pocket, sprint pass type of setup, okay? What Todd Bowles really likes to do is he likes to try to get you into a man protection scheme. And he's got some really cool techniques that he'll do alignment-wise to make you get into that scheme, because then he can exploit it. Another thing Todd Bowles really likes to do is try to get you into a half slide or a man slide protection, because then he can have some of these guys up at the line of scrimmage reading that slide and bailing out, and others coming in unblocked, into unprotected gaps. So we'll go through a little bit of how he does that and some of the things that I'm really jacked up to watch for on Sunday once we get into this. Now, before I do that, also, all the clips I'm showing you are from Denver, okay? And we know that Denver isn't a very good football team. Okay, they're not the Green Bay Packers. And I'm sure Drew Lock and Jeff Driscoll and Brett Rippon and anybody else who has started for him this year, I'm sure they're great dudes, but you put those 3 dudes together, they're still not Aaron Rodgers, okay? So take that with a grain of salt. However, Denver, a couple of things that they do formationally and schematically are actually very similar to what the Green Bay Packers do, at least from what I see their rules being. So we can take a look at Denver and see what Denver did well, what Denver really, really needs to improve, and then use that. I'm sure the Packers have this film as well and have really broken this down to see what they can be prepared for here in Week 5. So let's get to the film. All right, so getting into the film now, the first clip I'm going to show you is early on in the game, Denver's first drive, 3rd and 12, okay, obvious passing situation. Now, I had told you before that one of the things that Tampa really likes to do is get this offensive line into a man protection. One of the ways they'll do that is with alignment, okay? So what Tampa's going to do is use this inside backer here, walked up, head up over the center. What that's going to do when he's head up over the center or nose to nose with the center is he's going to dictate man protection. You can't really slide this, or you can't really half slide this protection because you don't know which way he's going to go. So you don't know which way to set the slide. Also, just from film study, they're guessing that this running back isn't a part of the protection on an early early drive 3rd and long. They're probably going to send that running back out. So if they send that running back out on a route, they're guessing that they can't actually full slide this, and they can't really half slide it because now all of a sudden they don't know which way he's going to go, so they don't know which way to slide the protection. Okay, so they're guessing they're going to get him into a man protection here, and what Tampa is going to do is they're going to show this, or it's called a mug technique. They're going to show it to get him into man protection, and then they're going to bail him off hot into coverage, and they're going to play a little stunt game down here with the defensive tackle and defensive end. The D tackle is going to come out wide to the offensive tackle, and then the D end is going to press up and then stunt inside. And you're going to be able to see what it does to this right guard right here, gets them all turned around, and all the pressure comes in incredibly fast on Jeff Driscoll. So as I play this tape here, we're going to zoom in a touch, and you can see here comes the stunt. The nose here, the D tackle, the 3 technique, gets to the shoulder of the tackle and starts widening him out, allowing Jason Pierre-Paul to come underneath. Watch this poor left guard here. This poor guy gets all turned around, and if you're a left guard getting turned around in pass protection, you're going to be in a world of hurt, okay? All that pressure really forces a tough throw from Jeff Driscoll. He actually gets hit on this and throws into a bit of trap coverage that really should have been picked. That's an awesome, just little schematic trick that Todd Bowles has, okay? So now we get into a true, what's called a 5 front here, or a 5 front look. Now they have the possibility of 6-man protection on the line, and they could even max protect it because they're in 12 personnel or 1 tight end with 2 running backs. They've got a fullback and a running back in the game. But again, a little bit of film study has told Todd Bowles this is likely going to be play action. With the fullback here, you're kind of starting to bury that tight end into the boundary. This is probably going to be some sort of play action roll pass. So what he's going to do is fire these 4 defensive linemen down. He's going to show blitz and then bail this outside backer into coverage and actually drag the safety down and around the end. So we're going to watch this as we plug up on the inside because we're in man protection right now. This tackle, your left tackle has to take that D end, and because of the play action, there's nobody for this safety looping around, and we're going to watch what that does to poor Jeff Driscoll. I mean, if you leave Antoine Winfield Jr. unblocked, that's going to happen more often than not. Aaron Rodgers is very, very intelligent, though, and pretty athletic. He may be able to get out of that, but watch for some of those looks when it comes to time for Sunday. And this next one, this is nasty. This is a deep on your own side of the field. This is the -5 yard line for Denver, 3rd and 13, really a tough position to be in. But watch all the movement that's going to come not only from the 2 down linemen right here and then the stand-up D ends. You've got a Mike backer here that's showing blitz immediately. So the center is going to have to pick that up. And then all of a sudden, there's nobody in place here for this nickel. Okay, this nickel is going to come off the corner and blitz, and this is nasty. You watch the corner come off the nickel come off in blitz as that tight end chip releases to the edge. Now, look at the absolute mess that it's made on the inside. Okay, you'll see our running back try to step up as the center slides. He's going to pass off now this blitzing inside backer as he spies and slides. This is half man protection. You can tell it's half man it's half slide or half man protection because the running back is going to come up and try to fit this bubble here. Okay, when the running back comes up to fit this bubble, the running back only gets 2 steps in the ground, and this linebacker is coming with a full head of steam. That's unfair to do to any running back. He's going to get bowled over, get Driscoll off his spot. Now the rush comes in, and it's a safety. Lucky it wasn't a sack, fumble, touchdown for Tampa here. Lucky for Denver, it was only 2 points to give the ball back. But here, that half-man protection with a full inside backer blitz is going to just decimate that inside backer, get him off his spot, and all of a sudden he's in all sorts of trouble. And Tampa Bay with the safety. Again, lucky it wasn't a forced fumble, but these are some of the things that Green Bay and that offensive line is going to have to really understand and figure out how to get that ball out hot, okay? So Tampa's doing some great stuff inside, doing some fun stuff off of the edge. Speaking of fun stuff off of the edge, watch this. This is called an overload blitz, or what we used to call a wham blitz, okay? You're going to watch right off of the edge, you're going to have an unblocked defender. This left tackle has to make a decision, right? So as this left tackle makes a decision, he can only take one, leaving one completely unblocked. another thing I'd like you to notice here is because Green Bay is very, very good at their screen game, Tampa has gotten very, very good at their screen beaters. So you have two inside backers here mugging again in that mug technique, and they're going to bail out, okay? They're going to drop to the hot throws and take away anything underneath, because as it looks now, it looks like your stacked corner is blitzing, which means you have possibly 8 coming, which means there's only 3 in protection back here. So these two are going to hot out and take out the first path underneath them. And then as that continues, you're going to watch them hot out. You're going to watch all this edge pressure come in. And because these two defensive tackles are head up, meaning they have blockers with eyes on them, they're going to just bail out to screen. So you're really going to see the entire interior of that defense bail out. You're going to see the two inside backers mug and then bail at the snap. And then you're going to see the only 2 down defensive linemen with their hands in the dirt get out and bail back out for screen as well. That gets edge pressure on Driscoll, who just throws up a duck. It turns into an easy pick for Levante David, and the Buccaneers are off and rolling. Okay, a couple more clips here for you. This one is just nasty. This is, I love this sort of stuff. So this is a full show and go type of blitz. But what this is this defensive end in this slide protection. This guy right here, he's not going to really full on rush. He's going to just kind of keep contain out here. Now, that's one of the things Rodgers is outstanding at, is breaking the pocket, breaking contain, and making plays happen down the field, right? So all he's going to do is drag the tackle and guard out with him right here. You can see the tackle's widening out, and the guard had to take a couple steps out with him as well. Now, as the guard tries to redirect, that nose is already through, and you're going to get a ton of pressure there because you had the drag to contain. That guard took a couple of false steps, and as soon as that guard takes a couple of false steps, that nose is through, beats that center one-on-one, and you go and you get yourself a meeting at the quarterback, okay? Now, as I said before, Vita Vea is out, but his backup, a man they called Nacho from the Kansas City Chiefs, is also really good, okay? So you have to watch out for that. Green Bay may have their hands full if the Buccaneers play a little bit of contain type of stuff, okay? Last clip we're going to watch here really quickly. Super easy sail concept by Denver down here in the red zone. They're going to have a post. It's a 4th and 1 play. So they're going to run an out with the tight end and a mandatory outside release fade here. Very simple concept, a really, really good one against what the Buccaneers are playing right here, which is cover 1. Okay, that means they're man across the board with 1 high safety. What Rippon in this case is going to do is he's going to try to look off the safety and try to get him to bite on this corner route here so that he can throw the post behind him. But this is an outstanding play by this safety right here. What the safety is going to do is he's going to turn his hips towards that corner route, but he's smart. He knows where Rippon is going to go with this ball. So you see him chatter his feet right there. That gives Rippon the green flag to throw the post coming behind. But it's a bait. It's a trap play by that safety because he knows he's going to now slip in and rob the post, okay? So what does Green Bay do to beat this type of defense? What Aaron Rodgers does best. Take the layup for the first down. Keep the drive moving. Take the points. You can see Driscoll right here against man coverage. He's got all this area to throw the layup. It's man coverage. That means a speed out is always going to beat it because of leverage. Take the layup for the first down, son, but he's not going to do that. He's going to get greedy. He's going to go for the post, which is exactly what Tampa wants, and you're going to see the safety come in late and rob the post. Unbelievable play, great play call, and away you go, Tampa. So Tampa does some really nice things defensively. Now, I know the question is, how do you beat that? Well, that's actually pretty easy. Not easy per se because it is the NFL, but there are some things that Green Bay can do, and thankfully it's some of the things that they do really, really well. As we start to watch this defense and we start to watch some of the things that they do, you'll start to notice that the edges are really, really soft, okay? So we see all this pressure down here, we see contained down here to the field, but there's nothing happening up here in the boundary. That edge, there's no defender here. It's soft. So one of the things that Green Bay loves to do is get that check down going out here. They're one of the best in the business when it comes to formation and movement, pre-snap and post-snap, to get the check down out here. Now you've got Aaron Jones, one of your better athletes, running out, and now you've got a couple of blockers in space. Okay, so the edges are really soft. Look for Aaron Jones or even Devontae Adams and some of their receiving core to get some really short, really easy catches early on, and then from there they can start to break this interior pressure by Tampa by attacking the edges, and then they can really start to move the ball down the field when they've taken them out of that interior pressure game. It's a game that I'm super excited for. I do think Green Bay pulls it out. I see Green Bay getting off to a bit of a slow start against this until they start to really break down this Tampa defense. And my prediction is Green Bay is going to take this one 31-24. Hey, thanks for paying attention to this. I know there's a lot of jibber jabber in here, and I just have a great time making these videos. So thanks for supporting PackerNet. Thanks for paying attention on this. I hope to see you all soon. Again, this is Coach Hahn for Packernet.com. Take care, everybody.